It was a muggy evening in August 2024, the kind where the air in Pinewood Grove, a tidy little suburb just outside Raleigh, North Carolina, clung to your skin like a bad decision. I'm Ethan Caldwell, a guy who spent the last decade digging into shady community budgets as a legal advocate. My pride and joy, a 2017 Harley-Davidson Road King, sat gleaming in my driveway, chrome catching the last of the sunset. I thought living in a place like Pinewood meant quiet nights and friendly waves at the mailbox. Man, was I wrong. It started with Monica Reynolds, the HOA president, striding up my driveway like she owned the deed to my soul. She was 50, all sharp edges in a navy blazer, her smile as warm as a tax audit. Trailing her was her son, Tyler, 27, built like he bench-pressed SUVs, but with eyes that looked like they hadn't blinked since high school. Monica's heels clicked on the pavement like a judge's gavel, and Tyler's gaze locked onto my Harley like he was pricing it at a pawn shop. "Nice bike," he said, dragging a finger along the handlebars. "I'll give you 22 grand, cash, right now." I nearly choked. That bike was worth 32, easy. Either this guy flunked math, or he thought I was born yesterday. "Appreciate it, but she's not for sale," I said, keeping it polite but firm. Tyler's face twitched, like he wasn't used to hearing no. Monica just stood there, silent, her eyes scanning me like I was a spreadsheet with errors. "Everything's got a price, man," Tyler pressed, his voice taking on a slick, used car salesman edge. "This neighborhood's got rules, you know. Loud bikes don't exactly scream, good neighbor." The threat hung there, subtle but heavy, like exhaust in the air. Monica finally spoke, her voice smooth as polished glass. "I'm Monica Reynolds, HOA president. I have a feeling we'll be seeing more of each other." She didn't shake my hand. Instead, she snapped a photo of my license plate and walked off, tossing a "you'll regret this" over her shoulder. That night, I couldn't shake the feeling I'd just stepped into a trap. The next morning, I woke up to a post on the Pinewood Grove community app. Tyler had shared a photo of my Harley with the caption, "This bike's a noise hazard. Owner refuses to respect our community." It had 15 likes and comments piling on about how motorcycles didn't belong in a family-friendly suburb. I stared at my phone, dumbfounded. This wasn't about noise. This was about me saying no to Tyler's lowball offer. By noon, my phone rang. "This is Monica Reynolds," came her crisp voice, like she was reading from a script. "We've had concerns about your vehicle violating noise ordinances." I pointed out there were no formal complaints. "That can change quickly," she said, and hung up. I stood in my driveway, gripping my coffee mug, wondering if I'd just been threatened by a woman who probably alphabetized her spice rack. 2 days later, a violation notice was taped to my door, $175, for excessive motorcycle noise from a day I'd been in Charlotte for work, my bike untouched. The notice had official letterhead, precise timestamps, and cited HOA rules I'd never seen. My gut twisted. This wasn't just petty neighbor drama. This was a calculated move, like something I'd seen in my years sniffing out financial fraud. Monica was building a case, and I was the target. Then the cops showed up. I was tightening a bolt on my Harley when 2 squad cars rolled in, lights flashing. "We got a call about threatening behavior," one officer said, eyeing my wrench like it was a grenade. They left after 15 minutes, clearly confused, but the message was clear. Monica could weaponize the police with a phone call. The next week brought a thick envelope: 3 more violations. One for improper parking, my bike was 6 inches off some invisible line. Another for aesthetic noncompliance. Apparently, my Harley clashed with Pinewood's visual harmony. And a $300 fine for excessive vehicle maintenance. Monica showed up with a clipboard, her voice dripping with fake courtesy. "These aren't suggestions, Ethan. This is a formal compliance protocol. You have 72 hours to remove that motorcycle, or we'll escalate." I dug into the documents, my advocate instincts kicking in. The violations cited fake state codes and bylaws that contradicted Pinewood's actual rules. Monica was making it up as she went, banking on no one calling her bluff. But I'd spent years dismantling crooked nonprofits. I knew how to follow a paper trail. My neighbor, Luis Garcia, pulled me aside one day, looking nervous. "Monica's been asking everyone to sign a petition against your bike," he said. "She did this to the last guy. He was gone in a month." My stomach sank. What happened to him? I asked. Luis just shrugged, moved, said it wasn't worth the fight. That lit a fire under me. I dove into Pinewood's HOA records, requesting financials that should have been public. The management company stalled, saying I'd need to wait 10 days illegal under North Carolina law, which demands access within 5. When I pushed back, they said they'd check with the president. Red flag. Then another envelope appeared. This one accusing me of trespassing and surveilling, neighbors pure fiction, but dressed up in official letterhead and fake witness statements. Monica was crafting a narrative where I was the neighborhood creep. The real gut punch came with a community access suspension. I was banned from the pool, gym, even the walking trails, all because of my disruptive behavior. I was done playing nice. I spent a weekend tearing through HOA law and found Monica's violations were a lawyer's dream. Fake rules, selective enforcement, no due process. Then I hit gold board meeting minutes claiming I'd attended and voted for policies I'd never heard of, including higher fines and a non-existent standards committee. My name was forged, approving things I'd never seen. The money trail was worse. Pinewood's financials showed payments of $2,500 a month to Tyler's company, Apex Property Solutions, for landscaping and security upgrades. That never happened. A quick check of the state business registry confirmed Tyler owned Apex. Monica was funneling community funds to her son while using fake violations to justify bigger budgets. Over 2 years, Apex had pocketed $50,000 for nothing. I needed hard proof. I roped in my buddy Alex, a freelance reporter who lived for exposing local scams. He agreed to film the next HOA meeting, posing as a vlogger interested in community governance. Monica wasn't expecting us. She ran the meeting alone, no quorum, no notice, just her reading fake violation reports about me and approving more payments to Apex. Some residents don't fit our community's character, she said, flipping through a folder with my name on it. We have ways to handle persistent noncompliance. Alex caught it all on camera, including Monica's panic when she noticed him filming. She tried to grab his camera, knocking over a stack of papers, fake invoices, and bank slips tying Apex to her personal accounts. "You have no right to those," she screamed, but it was too late. We had her. I spent days compiling evidence, forged minutes, fraudulent payments, video of Monica's illegal meetings. I reached out to Sarah Klein, a prosecutor I'd worked with on fraud cases. "This is textbook embezzlement," she said. The video alone could land her in prison. She warned me Monica would get desperate once the investigation started. She wasn't wrong. At a city council meeting, I slid a folder of evidence across the table, forged signatures, fake invoices, a timeline of Monica's harassment. The clerk's face hardened. "These are serious accusations, Mr. Caldwell," she said, loud enough for Monica, sitting in the front row, to hear. Monica's expression cycled from confusion to fury before she stormed out, shooting me a look that could have melted steel. The investigation moved fast. Within 48 hours, the DA's Financial Crimes Unit was on it, and the FBI sniffed around for mail fraud and wire fraud. Monica retaliated hard. A letter from Community Legal Services threatened me with defamation and harassment lawsuits. Then came a complaint to the state licensing board, accusing me of abusing my advocacy role aimed at tanking my career. One night, I found an envelope under my door with a photo of me in my kitchen, taken through my window. No note, just a message. They were watching. Then came the black SUV, parked across my street for hours, engine running, windows tinted. When I approached with a flashlight, it peeled out without headlights. The next morning, a laminated violation notice was zip-tied to my Harley, threatening asset seizure. Someone had been on my property, close enough to touch my bike. My hands shook not from fear, but rage. Monica wasn't just bending rules, she was breaking laws. The worst came when I found my mailbox smashed, all my mail gone except a map of my property with red X's on my house and garage. This wasn't intimidation, it was a threat assessment. Luis, my last ally, suddenly flew an HOA flag on his porch. They got to him, I thought. Monica was building an army, and I was running out of friends. The final straw was a forged permit with my signature, authorizing a land swap that would have given the HOA part of my driveway. Identity theft, plain and simple. I compiled a 250-page report, bank records, videos, forged documents, everything. I filed with the FBI, the state attorney general, the county prosecutor, and sent copies to the local paper. This wasn't just about saving my bike, it was about stopping Monica from ruining more lives. The fallout was swift. Federal agents swarmed Pinewood, interviewing neighbors, photographing the community center. At a packed HOA hearing in September 2024, the state laid out Monica's crimes. $250,000 stolen over 4 years through fake billing, identity theft, and mail tampering. Monica's defense, bookkeeping errors, fell apart when Alex's video played, showing her orchestrating fake meetings. Then Luis stood up, playing a recording of Monica coaching him to fabricate complaints. Some people need a reminder that rules aren't optional, her voice echoed. The room gasped. Monica knocked over her chair and fled, her HOA badge dangling crookedly. Tyler vanished the night before, his company dissolved, bank accounts emptied. Monica faced charges carrying 20 years in lawsuits that would bankrupt her. The HOA was dissolved, replaced by a court-appointed administrator. I sat on my porch, my Harley gleaming, but victory felt empty. How many others misses? Larson, the elderly widow forced to sell. The Nguyen family fined for their cultural decoration Scalvi, had been spared if someone had fought sooner? A week later, an envelope slid under my door. I braced for another threat, but it was a thank you from a family Monica had driven out years ago. Justice had arrived, but only because I dragged it into the light. What would you have done in my shoes? Fought back or walked away? Have you ever faced a bully who hid behind rules and power? How far would you go to expose corruption in your own backyard? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe if you're ready to stand up to the Karens of the world.